Wow.
He's 15 yards in front of me. Oh,
Lockdown 2. It lasted a little over a month and left thousands of footballers to their own devices, sitting around the house whiling away their Saturday afternoons. The respite may be brief, but for now the restrictions have been lifted and Southern Combination Football League Division 2 football is back. Charlwood is celebrating this milestone by heading down to Lancing near Brighton to face the exotically named Montpelier Villa FC. The two sides came face to face for the first game of the season 3 months earlier. On that occasion, Montpellier raced into a lead that proved to be unassailable, winning 3-1 and leaving Charlwood manager Peter Barkley to wonder if his side were capable of competing in this league. Although since that encounter, both sides have found themselves rooted to mid-table. Montpellier now share Culver Road, the home of Lancing FC, the ground that boasts impressive seating and a perfect 4G pitch. For the visitors, there's much to be hopeful about. Behind the scenes, Barks has been busy scouting new players, with experienced defender Josh Howe one of several new signings to boost the squad list. Sadly, in a bid to create a more harmonious dressing room, Barks has had to release star winger Jamie Liddell, his friend and one of the club's longest serving players. One man who knows both his former and future teammates extremely well is veteran defender Josh Fordry.
So there's a few new faces today. Do you know the guys? Were you introduced to them?
Yeah, so Josh I played with at Hawley Town, Smallfield, he's club captain. Very, very good player, very strong, got a lot of organisation skills, top notch. He'll bring a lot to the side. I think he'll bring a lot for what we need, I think. Barks has been doing a lot whilst with the time, you know, a bit of time off to try and get some players in. As he keeps saying, he keeps trying to change the culture of the club, put good habits into the team and eradicate all the arguments and nitty gritty so we can play as a team and just, you know, I think realistically going up a step, obviously you want to win a league. We won 3 back-to-back titles. You want to keep pushing, but I think when you hit a level and you know that level, there's games where we should have won, but...
And most notably is an absent face, Jamie Liddell. You've been playing with him for a very long time.
Yeah.
You're going to miss him?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, he's obviously a talent. He's brilliant at football. He's such a laugh around the changing rooms, around the ground. He's good luck to wherever he's going. I mean, I've played with him for 15 odd years now. Yeah, I will miss him.
All right, I'm not going to say too much about motivating you. It's been a long month, isn't it, without football. We're back now, and it's so nice to know it was definitely going to be on. It's an absolute carpet, boys, and we can't enjoy a game of football today, then we never will. All right, keep getting on the ball, keep working the ball. And when you can, forward. Merce and Lippet really bombing on. Really getting down those flanks, really joining in. 1-2s, overlaps, get the ball in the box. Stretch the game. I want to play football, but you can't always do it from the get-go. So don't be afraid to use that pace to turn these young lads. All right, they are young lads. You are more experienced. You should have a bit more nous. We should be able to work the ball. And let's show our quality today. We've got 11 lads out there who are honest, who are going to give everything. And if you do that, we win this game. We win this game. All right, boys, phase of play, let's go. Yeah, just buzzing to be back playing. Obviously a long warm-up because we had to come out of the changing room, but nice to work on a few things. Lads seem up for it. Nice symmetry to playing these guys again that we lost to on the opening day of the season, so hopefully we can put things right and give a good account of ourselves.
You excited about the new players getting on the pitch?
Yeah, a few injuries today as well, so obviously Skipper's here watching, so a few people missed him, but yeah, nice to freshen up the squad and change the dynamics a little bit.
Pre-lockdown, Charlwood suffered back-to-back defeats, conceding 9 goals in the process. So it's to their credit that the opening exchanges aren't particularly cagey. Their attacking formation sees several players get a chance to play in their preferred positions. And in George Smith, Charlwood have an attacker who offers a persistent threat. He's part of a bright opening for Charlwood as they take the game to their opponents. Against a far younger side, Charlwood may have to rely on nous and physicality to break their opponents down.
Delivery, Ollie. Short side!
away side are not fazed by their opponents and are rightly disappointed not to take an early lead, having dominated the ball for long passages of play.
Great ball, get up to him. Drive! Love that, what football. Tell you what, mate, it's best we played. 2v1, 2v1!
Although the opening quarter of the game does favour the away side, their opponents soon remind them what they're up against. Harley DeMario's acrobatic volley lacks the power to test Zach Rice in the Charlwood goal, but it certainly does send a message. As the half wears on, Montpellier control the possession, and their dominance of the ball gives Josh Street an opportunity to strike from long range.
Wow.
Gaps begin to appear in the Charlwood rear guard,
Great win, Dino!
and only a last-ditch tackle from Dean Richmond keeps the score level. As a series of chances fall their way, Montpellier begin to get closer and closer. By the time Max Martin puts his effort wide from close range, there's a sense that the next chance won't go begging. Of course, we didn't know that chance would fall to Michael Sabino. Nothing but air.
Oh, wowzers!
But like a freezing cold dyslexic under a blanket, Charlwood have been warned. They just couldn't do anything about Josh Rondell's cultured right boot. Rondell's 22-yard curler squeezes inside the post, giving Montpellier a deserved lead.
Go again, lads! Go again, lads!
Being one up after 30 minutes was certainly a positive position to be in, but perhaps didn't warrant the kind of showboating that Montpellier striker Sabino attempted.
I'm absolutely kicking into it. I'll go for everything.
It was a brave move for a man who had just hit an air shot, and it certainly didn't help him garner any sympathy when he did this a few minutes later.
He's not going to score something like that. He can't walk in a straight line.
As Charlwood commit bodies forward looking for an equaliser, Montpellier counter. Aided by Dean's covering, keeper Zach Rice does just enough to survive this one.
Oh my God.
Despite the chances they've conceded, Charlwood are not out of it yet. Adam Lippett dances through the defence only to see George Smith slice wide.
Oh!
The tenacious Ollie Tennant then provides Smith with a chance to shoot, but his clean strike is comfortably saved, and Montpellier lead at half-time.
How can I get people closer to George though? I feel like Lou's just protecting, so he's not marking. If Lou steps in, Tom can step in.
Yeah.
So maybe we flip that triangle and go, Hers and Lou sit as a double pivot, and Tom play in front, in that front. I really think that's just solid art for football. I really think there's no need for anyone to be looking at the ground, anyone beat himself up. A month without a game of football, and we've moved it around, we've fought for each other, and it could have gone the other way there. It could have gone the other way, that. They've scored a worldie, but the warning signs were there when he's rattled the crossbar. So, for me, I think the expression is just front foot. And we've got a few players here that will step towards danger. When the ball's there, they put their head in. Tomo, Dino, Josh. And then we've got a few that are like, someone else will do that. Or, oh no, that's not near me. And we've got to all be on the front foot. If we're not on the front foot collectively, we just leave it to someone else. We also have to be braver on the ball. Let me tell you, I know it's scary to pick up the ball and use it. I know it's worrying, and I know we're going to mess up sometimes. But every time we've gone pop, pop, suddenly Tomo's got some room and time to play. Every time we do 1-2 passes, the game opens up. If we just, for a whole season, just lump it, we're going to be dealing with scraps the whole season, boys. So if Dean goes there and Josh goes there, and even if they don't want it, and I think you both need to be here a bit quicker. All right, the reason, when we're lazy and we're here, but if we're here, yeah, we're here. And if we don't want it, Zach, I don't mind if you want to do it. But we have to break here. And then we have that one rotation in midfield. We haven't had one. We've gone back to Sunday League, eyes not on, facing the play. Let me tell you, you are more than in this game. They know you're in this game, and if you start playing the way you can and turn it around in 5, they're going to go, boys. Come on. I tell you what, Ollie, that's class.
Charlwood start brightly again, with the Tennant brothers combining to get a shot on goal. At the other end, considered approach play around the Charlwood box soon gives Montpellier an opening, although not enough to test Zach Rice. Soon after the hour mark, Charlwood finally create a breakthrough. Aaron Murphy overlaps and squares for Justin Ford, who tees up George Smith for a tap-in. At the other end, Sabino tries to respond in the only way he knows how. Montpellier pushing hard. Josh Street's cross flashes across the goal mouth. Charlwood refuse to be pegged back and continue to pass the ball and create half chances, but their long-range efforts don't trouble Brazilian goalkeeper Lucas. With a shade under 20 minutes to go, a series of minor errors lead to the unravelling of Charlwood's game plan. When a Montpellier attacker cries "leave it," a call prohibited by the laws of the game, the Charlwood protests fall on deaf ears. Predictably, the resulting corner becomes a game-defining moment. Dan Barden pounces on a ricocheting ball and fires home. Charlwood look for a late equaliser, but the closest they come is Tom Tennant's wayward header. Montpellier find gaping holes on the counter, and it's only thanks to Zach Rice's saves that the score remains narrow.
Save, Zach. No foul, Tom!
For the first time under their manager, Charlwood have lost for the third game in a row.
Do you know what? I'd say okay. I feel okay. Gutted to lose, obviously. But when I flash back to the first game of the season against them, I think we've actually improved there. We're in the game. A couple of decisions obviously didn't go away. They scored a worldie first up. Second one, I have to look it back, but I'm sure the guys shouting "leave it," you know, which obviously we can't do at this level. Which no excuse, we shouldn't switch off. But second half, you know, I don't want to say we're the better side because I said this last time against them, but we moved the ball, we won the ball back a lot. We didn't create many clear cuts. I think there was a dubious couple of offside decisions there. We were in on goal, but overall, first game for a month. They're young lads, they're on a different run of the ladder to some of our boys, but we held our own. I think we worked hard, the boys look fit for a month off, loads to build on. Feel like we probably deserved a draw, to be honest with you. Would have taken a point, but a point's neither here nor there. And you can see by our results, we either win or lose. So, yeah, we just kept going for it, moved them around a bit, but I thought the attitude and everything was spot on. we've created a good little ethos here. Everyone's bought into it today. Everyone's worked hard. You know, you can't have negative characters around the squad, and on days like this especially, you go 1-0 down, it's freezing, we've come a long way. You know, there's a lot of things to look at externally that can influence that in a negative way, but today I can't fault any of them. I can't fault any of them. They look sharp, they worked hard. You know, we haven't trained, we haven't done things we need to do, but I can't fault their attitude and application today, and it's a good foundation to build on. We're not going to win or lose the league today, we're not going to get relegated or stay up today, but what we can do is establish a way of playing and work on things. You know, we don't train. I've had to do things in the warm-up there, throw-ons, corners, you know, had to talk through things. So overall, it was a decent display, could have taken a point. I'm not going to beat myself up about it too much. It's good to see everyone, and they all did all we asked today. That's all anyone can do, right?
We figured it was about time we gave a referee a platform to explain himself. So here's a referee.
Okay, so my name's Peter Izard. I work for a private bank in the city. Always shouted abuse at the referee from the stands at the Amex and things, so thought I'd give it a go and never look back. I don't shout at them at all now because I can see it from the other lens. The players were a bit rusty after a month off. I was a little bit rusty after a month off. Overall, pleased with the performance, pleased to keep the cards away. I thought it was a fairly clean game, fairly even game, but you could see that both sets of players were rusty, and probably I could have done with a good game to get under my belt too. What makes me really pleased is that if you can avoid any major incidents, major injuries, and actually when both sets of managers are pleased with you at the end of the game, especially the losing manager, if you can shake your hand and say, you know, fair play, ref, that's what makes me really happy. I enjoy the man management side of it is the big part for me, and the fitness. So I pride myself on my fitness, but also as well, you know, controlling 22 players in sometimes very trying conditions. You test your skills, your man management, your people skills, and I think that's a bit I really enjoy, you know, and actually sitting at home in a warm, cosy house is a bit boring for me, you know.
And here's Montpellier manager Kevin Green to give us his side of the story.
My name's Kevin Green and I'm first team manager here at Montpelier Villa. This is my second game. I've been coach here at Montpelier Villa for a few years, but we had our first team manager Simon Whitney decided to step down about a month ago. Yeah, and I've taken over. So I mean, it was a bit weird because I took over and then lockdown happened, so it wasn't like we had loads of time to do what we wanted to do. But I was really pleased with the players over lockdown because we gave them a fitness program to do, and they pretty much to a man did it fully. It went well. The boys put in a good shift. I think again, has been the case quite a lot of times this season. We had a lot of opportunities to kill the game and probably made a bit more work of it than it should have been. But credit to Charlwood, they came back into it second half and made it a good competitive game. But really pleased with the 3 points. Well, last year we were winning the league quite comfortably, and I think we needed 2 or 3 wins out of our last 7 games to gain promotion.
How do you think you can go as a manager and as a club?
This season we'd like to just finish as high as possible, so that's all we're going to worry about. We've applied for promotion again, so we will see where we end up, and if we get the opportunity to go up, then that's great. But as a club, we have ambitions of trying to get up the pyramid. Just as a manager, we just worry about what's happening on the pitch now rather than where we're going to be in a couple of years' time or 3 years' time.
Hit the subscribe button now. Now! We swear to God we'll keep you entertained.